Act like you did not just see my hands quickly run away from the switcher. Thank you. Now, I was supposed to have a guest, and I was supposed to upload my last episode with clips and everything, but things did not work out the way I guess planned for. Even though you do all the pre-planning, sometimes the aftermath ends up becoming a mess, or production ends up becoming a mess. So on the last episode, for those who listened to the podcast audio, unfortunately, that was the easiest thing to upload. So I told myself, if I upload this, at least I know that I have 9 podcasts uploaded. YouTube's gonna have to take the L on this one because at the end of the day, the focus is podcasting. So for my 10th episode, it's going to be the 10th episode of me by myself just winging it, meaning I'm probably going to go on a lot of unfiltered wild tangents about topics that, I may not have did the best research on. So if you do just for some reason like hearing my voice or think that I'm a cool guy and think that I have interesting things to say, or you're a sucker for my predictions, I guess it's best for you to stay tuned for this episode because I'm gonna go away from the techie things to this one and kind of reintroduce what I think the podcast direction is going to go in. You see, after last week's show, me and Q sat there and talked for 3 hours from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. At that point, it was dawn. And all we really did was sit there and spit out theories, talk about our history, talk about the history of music, talk about the history of tech, talk about the future or the possibilities that tech can create in the future. In fact, I even showed them some demo products that these dudes were working on that Shark Tank show. But the main thing that I realized there is that I want to have conversations with people who are enthusiastic about utilizing tech as one of their tools to create whatever the fuck it is. You see, if there's one thing that I've noticed about humans, it's that our asses love to create things. We love to do shit. We love to make things happen, and we love to be the inventors or the first to do something. And then other people come and do it, and they do it even better. And now it just creates this domino effect of always wanting to create the best version of something. And sometimes they just turn into a bunch of variations because this one may not be better than that one, but it does this thing that I like that one doesn't do. So at the end of the day, I guess what it's best to say that inventors and creators have done a great job at providing us with enough tech to make us spoiled little bitches. Because no, I don't want that iPhone. I want that more expensive iPhone for $125 more, or in some cases $1,000 completely. Technology is, to me at least, a really good sidekick for the human being. And a lot of machines are too advanced for any human being to go in there and operate because you have to learn these algorithms, you have to learn these codes, you have to learn these programming languages in order to run them properly. And I have a weird little theory about like how people utilize computers now versus how they were supposed to utilize them about 20 years ago. And those who couldn't adapt to programming languages are going to have a harder time adapting to I guess the future. Because if you think about it, half the programs that we utilize, we can only utilize them based off the UI and what we see on the front end. You go on a website, you can only utilize that website based off of the functionality that it allows you to have. So really there's people back there making sure that the button does exactly what it's supposed to do, making sure that this text says exactly what it's supposed to say. And many different companies and organizations and just places in general have different ways of programming things and creating things. But at the end of the day, the end result is always the same. We are utilizing somebody else's software or, whatever it may be. But these people can't create software without some hardware. And a lot of the times they need really good hardware in order to create something that's pretty heavy. You probably don't want to run a gigantic ass line of code or script that was specified for 3D engines on a MacBook Air you know, that code's gonna eat all the memory up and damn near cause it to overheat. Not even overheat. I'm not even gonna take it that far. Let's just say that you're putting a lot of weight on your computer. See, this is coming from somebody who's a noob to this coding world, who's just trying to understand it. But what I'm seeing similarities in, it's like trying to upload 6K footage to your MacBook Air and trying to edit it in real time without any proxies, without lowering the resolution of the preview, and without pre-rendering. You know, it's like trying to do that. Your computer can only handle as much as, you know, you allow it to handle, meaning you're gonna have to break the bank on it if you want your computer to be strong. But that's the thing about computers, is that a lot of people, especially when you first buy one, you think that you have to get one that's so expensive and so good that it can last forever, or at least that's what I did. And then the next year, or honest to God, that same year, just a couple months later, the M1 chip gets released, and then you're looking at your computer and you're like, I don't think I want this thing anymore, because technology does that every single fucking time, where they build up, and then bam, something even faster, even quicker comes out. Technology that's no new thing. Technology is going to advance every ounce of the way, every single year, damn near every single month, maybe even every single day. And to me, I don't know about you guys, but that reminds me of something. It reminds me of the business world, where they're always coming out with new innovative ways to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. And what creates that? Like, what is it that makes them do it so fast? You know, like, if it were up to all of us, we would like to take our time with things, because, you know, quality at the end of the day. But sometimes the competitors don't allow you to focus on just quality, because they have 15 people focusing on quality while you only have 3 people focusing on quality. So guess who's going to get that product out a lot quicker? The people who have more people to do one little tiny task, as opposed to one person doing 3 gigantic tasks. You see, people, computers, there's this similarity, and I think it's called bottlenecking. We are all subject to it. Our computers are. We are, as humans, we're like limited to our own cells. We are a shell. Like, you know, this is a really wild, like, theory slash I want to say conspiracy, but I'm not really trying to, like, I think robots are gonna rule the world. I'm trying to compare how humans and computers are sort of alike, even though these things are technological devices, and, you know, mechanics and electricity flows through it. Memory is different. But if you think about it, computers are built by really, really smart people who focus on algorithms, studying math, studying science, studying physics. I almost tried to say quantum physics in the same word. But the only reason I thought of quantum was because I seen a video about it earlier. Reminder, I did not go to college. None of that stuff. I'm not the most educated person, in all honesty. This is just me being excited about the potential that tech creates. If you think about how memory works, they like to say that there's 2 forms of it. There's the RAM, and then there's the storage. Like, why would you even call RAM memory if memory is storage? Memory is when you could think of something and then think about it again 2 months later. You remembered that. That was something that was locked in your memory. See, RAM doesn't quite work that way, because it doesn't remember anything from 2 months ago. It only remembers the memory that it is currently serving and putting out. At least that's from my understanding. It's like the active memory that is happening right now, and then it finds a way to store it into your computer's storage, where it just sits there. Like, it's like a graveyard of a bunch of files and bytes. It's just a graveyard of bytes at the end of the day. Your storage is literally a graveyard of bytes that you put into certain programs, and then you pull that. It's like, think of it like, you see a wall full of drawers, a file cabinet. You open the file cabinet, you look through it, and then you pull out the folder that you want to obtain that piece of memory. Now your computer has to use the RAM to make sure that that memory is accessible to you currently, not 2 years ago or 2 months ago, but currently needs to be served to you. Without a server, RAM is basically serving you the memory that you were trying to access. Random access memory. Now, I could have definitely fucked that up, but from the internet searching that I have done, that random part probably gets me the most, though, because it's like to say it's throwing random access memory at you, but like at the end of the day, it's like throwing them. It's to me, it looks like it's kind of like directing traffic. Like you're looking at a four-way street, and then you can see a bunch of cars just spewing through at a very quick rate. And if something like if you have a sudden stop, or you overload your computer, an accident happens. Now a bunch of jams happen, and now a bunch of bottlenecks happen, and now the people who weren't even a part of the crash are slowed the fuck down because the crash happened somewhere over here, and now we got to go fix that, clean that up, and then let it go back to doing its thing. Now, because when I think about it, like when I think of data moving like that, like just think of bits of memory as cars. You're in an airplane looking at a traffic jam on an intersection. You know, you can. It looks like a bunch of cars, like a bunch of ants. But another way that I can see it is like blood cells going through your veins. It's just this. It's just some type of object, some type of virtual object, something in something that flows through here, and it has a mission in mind. It needs to get from here to here. And there should be no prevention along the way, but sometimes there is, and sometimes there's not. And, you know, us as people, unlike robots, have the ability to like create our own, to minimize our own bottlenecks and our own. That'll be the best way to put it. What do I mean by that? Okay, I can't just go up to a car and lift it. But if I worked out for like 5 years straight, and like I probably still won't be able to lift the car with my shoulders, but I might be able to get it off the ground a little bit more because I've been practicing for this. I've been training my body to prepare for the heavy load that I'm about to pick up, I guess. We have the ability to like prepare ourselves and like, you know, manually adjust the cores that we were given. A computer does not. That's why humans are always gonna need to be a part of this world, because we need to literally operate these things. And I know artificial intelligence, oh my gosh, I wish I knew more about, like, you know, the real science behind my body, so I could understand why my body just wants to sit there and burp in the middle of a podcast. I drank a lot of soda yesterday. I think that'll be why. Okay. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little like all over the place right now. This is the earliest I've ever done a podcast. So I have a few things to do today. I have to go hoop with my boy Warren, and then I have to go hang out with some friends afterwards. Hopefully a lot of those friends you'll be seeing on my podcast soon. But like I was saying, you know, it's like I think that humans kind of have no choice but to mimic the computer into mimic us like into a computer, because at the end of the day, no, I'm kidding. No, there's certain things that like learning how to calculate. Then people got those algorithms and were able to plug them into computers. Us learning how to do math meant that it made it really, really easy to teach other people how to do math, because a computer can make it repetitive and can access and people can access the computer way fast. Okay, how can I put it? If I say 2 + 2 = 4 on a piece of paper, and then I have to physically hand that out to 50 students, it's going to take about, let's say it's three students a second. And because of the fact that there's a calculator installed into my phone, I can say 3 times 50, 150 seconds. So about a minute, close to 2 minutes. That was bad math. So definitely over 2 minutes in about 30 seconds. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Sorry about my my poor math ability. Point is that if you are using a calculator, and the point is, fuck all that. So I'm a teacher. I'm walking this to people, and it takes me 2 minutes and 30 seconds just to do that. Or I can make a file, put 2 + 2 = parentheses, you tell me. And then I send that file to all these students who have a computer on their desk. And they all get it in 3 seconds at the same time. The computer does that. And that to me, everybody likes to say that a computer is specifically designed to process memory, process information, and process these things. You make it sound really fucking boring when you give me the technical term. Technical terms are really fucking boring. A computer makes your life 1,000 times easier, especially if you're the one programming it and you know the algorithms, you know the data structures, you know the hard shit, you know how to make your computer work and do things that, you know, a lot of people may not be able to do. Me, because I'm constantly checking my Instagram right now to see if there's anyone texting me. So at the end of the day, when we go back a few podcasts to that one where I was talking to my boy Daniel, and he was mentioning how Apple basically says that, like, we want to take away that ability for you to have to sit there and, like, you know a few commands in the command line just to operate just to fucking find the directory that holds the fucking application that you're looking for. Then you have to CD into that, hit enter, and then you have to type in your password, type in your username, type in your password, and then you have to enter, and then you have to run through some more code that program has. Back then, you were running through a lot of code just to open an application. So the equivalent to that equivalent in the physical world is me going to work. I have to get up. I have to brush my teeth. I have to put food into my body. I have to get dressed. Then I have to get my keys, and then I have to go downstairs, and then I have to walk about a good 15 feet to my car. I have to turn the ignition into my car. Or I can say that I got ready for work and went to work. You know what I mean? It's not taking away the instructions. It's still happening back there. But, you know, we're just kind of condensing everything and giving you the information that you just need. Or that we're just doing all the work for you so that all we got to do is give it the least amount of manual input. I guess that's the best way to put it. Computers or programs that operate the best tend to have the least manual input. Because the more we input information, the more chances we have to fuck things up. Why? Because that's how humans work. And because I wasn't there when you created the software, I don't know how it works. So I'm bound to fuck up. You know, when you're playing a game, you're not supposed to be goated at that shit the first day. You know, it takes you about a good 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how hard you grind, to really get the flow of it and understand it and get a good feel for it. So now you at least can build something called a strategy. You know? You finally have these buttons that you could rely on when things get a little bit too pressure. You have that go-to. A lot of people might make fun of that go-to and be like, oh, you're doing the same shit. Well, sometimes you gotta spam to win, okay? I'm not here to fucking lose, bitches. I'm here to win the game. Winning. Competitive. Because just like the business world, just like gaming, just like sports, competition exists fucking everywhere. That's something that I never realized as a kid. Is that competition is going to be everywhere. It's not just for sports. It's not just for video games. That motherfucking shit is worldwide. Nothing you could really do about it. You are going to be competitive. You are a competitive person. You just gotta let it be. That's something that I wish I told myself at a younger age. But because of the fact that I'm too stuck on the abilities of what a computer can do, let me give you some examples. Or maybe I could even show us some examples without any video, obviously. Maybe I could even show us some examples of people who get technology and just fucking run with it. And the funny part about this is that it's kind of weird because there's two like generations talking to each other right here. And a lot of people might just see it as a general conversation between two people. I see it as technology at its peak. And the reason I say technology at its peak is because the person who owns Tesla, Elon Musk, is literally creating the cars of the future. And we have an interviewer who does reviews on YouTube, but literally runs that entire genre of YouTube to the point where he was able to interview business owners like Elon Musk or Sundal from Google, Mark Zuckerberg, and even people from Apple. And that started with fucking review videos when he was a kid. You see, that's dedication right there. What was his fascination? What was his thing? The advancement of technology. You could see the technology that he was reviewing back then, because of the fact that it was back then and that was real time at that moment. He could easily sit here and tell you that this is the best product right now, and then 3 months later he probably has another variation of that video saying, no, this is the best product right now. And then another one a year later that completely destroys those two videos and says, no, this is right here is the best one. Same brand, same device, it's just better and better and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And as he kept doing those, his videos kept getting better and better and stronger, reaching more people, to the point where he was able to meet somebody who did the same thing who put that same work in a completely different place and built an industry, a lifestyle, and a collection of cars. I really fucking wish this could play video. I swear to God I do. For those who are listening, I'm literally just gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do right here. That sucks. For those listening, if you really are listening, because this is 22 minutes into the podcast, I've probably either lost you guys by now or you're really fucking bored. But just know that there's a struggle that I'm currently having. I'm gonna get over it eventually when I have, more people and more help around me, more logical thinkers in my life. Who will help me find out how to just play videos from my iPad straight to the fucking recording of OBS, because I can play the video, but you guys can't actually hear the video, and to me that is pain. But basically, for those who can see, you literally just see a video. It sucks that ads are playing right now, but the first comment in this video, for those who are listening, it says, went from reviewing phones to chilling with a billionaire. And this isn't the only billionaire he sat with. Let's just fast forward it, because look at the placement of this video. This is literally in front of and this is the factory in the background. To me, that's the craziest thing, is that Elon Musk created such a decentralized system that was able to operate without him, that he has the time to sit there and fulfill an interview for a tech nerd who's interested in his brand and his business. To me, that's inspiring on multiple levels, because all I'm seeing right here, when I see a video like that, all I'm seeing is inspiration. All I'm seeing is a guy who got inspired by another guy. No. Let me rephrase that a little bit better. I might have to refrain to my notes. Go back to my notes on this one, because I had the perfect fucking saying earlier. MKBHD interviewing business owners is really inspiring to me, because not only is he interviewing people that I'm interested in, but it's like seeing somebody who I'm inspired by interview people that he's inspired by. All that does is give me hope. All that does is give me confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. And maybe I'll be able to have these same conversations, because I do remember seeing those memes of like, would you choose $50 million now or a dinner with Jay-Z? Bro, a dinner with Jay-Z is worth like $1 billion. You tripping, nigga. You still got to put the work in. What? Okay, I'm going to keep it a buckaroo with you. I'm going to take the 50 mil and then pay for a fucking Jay-Z interview. I'm not even going to do the dinner. I'll get the nigga dinner while we're fucking talking on a microphone, but we're recording this conversation. We're recording this, because to me, that's the value in it. And he might not be cool with that, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, the shit that you say and the questions that I have, it's young mind and old mind, and all I want to do is pick that brain of yours. That's really all these interviews are, too. It's just people like me who are curious about people like you guys and want to get down to why you guys do what you guys do, because sometimes people like me aren't always the best at doing it. So I guess that's my theory on that. But like I said, let's just go back to the video, because just like looking at the B-roll of this video, it's just insane to me. It really just is insane to me. I really wish I could hear it. And the fact that they were still able to pull off good quality shows me that like the focus is still there. But really, all it really does is give me hope that YouTubers can turn their brands back into a business, and then that business can become just as profitable as a Tesla. It just hasn't happened yet. To me, you're really just building up your own fan base, your own community. Tesla sells to their community. We speak to ours, but we also can sell to ours. You see, if we're selling to them from the beginning, then they'll probably get a little used to how we go about things. They may not like it. You see, like Linus Tech Tips, he kind of does it right, but the only issue is that he's selling water bottles. Your Linus Tech Tips. Why are you not trying to sell one of the biggest innovations in the world? Why are you not hands in with some of the processes that are currently going to be building the future? To me, if you're a YouTuber, you need, and you're, especially if you have a specified niche or like a community or a certain group of people that you talk to, you can't talk about this because that just doesn't fit the fans, bro. The fans don't care about that. Well, my fans are creators. Those are the fans that I want to speak to, and I want to provide them with valuable things that don't have to just, I don't want to charge them $30 for a fucking dope ass water bottle with my logo on it. I would still prefer them to have their logo on it, but it not be a water bottle at all. In fact, I would much rather it be a device that they can actually utilize, And a lot of people already have that. That's the thing. A lot of creators already have that in place. So there's no need to sit there and give them something that they might already have. I know that's stupid, but you got to give them something that they need. And they do need water. I do agree. They do need water, but they don't need something to drink out of that water because they probably have a few of those things already. And truth be told, Walmart sells these for about $15. I could just walk there and go get one. Why would I want to pay $30 unless I'm showing love? Unless I'm such a loyal fan that that $30 is actually kind of worth it because like I believe in this guy so much that I will buy a water bottle from him for $30. Like I said, I'm not mad about that because I think he's planting the seeds for the future. He's just trying to see what they could buy, or at least that's what he better be fucking doing. He better be doing that. I just got a gut feeling that that's just drop shipping 101, bro. Like if I wanted to get into drop shipping, I couldn't sell water bottles because I don't have a brand yet. So therefore you kind of have that W right there. But I just got a fat feeling that if you were selling products that your viewers actually needed, like the advertisements that he has in his videos would be his own advertisements and his own product. And he loves to talk about how annoying these other tech companies are. Why not build your own? Why not invest in the actual development team for hardware and software? Have them not get along. Obviously, they're not going to always get along. They're going to have their differences. They're people. But working together to build a product that can benefit your community. Because if it can benefit your community, it can benefit many others. And yes, people are going to steal those ideas and people are going to take that shit and run with it. And people might even be saying, just stick to the reviews, dude. Stay in your niche. Fuck staying in the niche. This is to me, being a successful YouTuber, being a successful content creator, being a successful influencer can literally elevate you to new heights. And to me, those heights are being a business owner and creating change in the world that not a lot of people are caring to change. At least that's something that I just think about. And that could be an overthought. That could be me just being, a typical pothead who likes to think about the big things and only likes to think about how much better people could be at other things. But at the end of the day, what reviewers do is they just they review these products, but they don't realize it. They are literally publicizing themselves as a guide. Do you want to buy this? Here's an educated opinion on that. But while I'm giving you this educated opinion, yeah, you can buy this, but this wouldn't work well without this. I don't know. For me, I just see something there. I wouldn't want to sell water bottles. I wouldn't want to sell shirts or anything like that. Having a good graphic designer is dope as hell, but I want that graphic designer to put our brand on things that people aren't gonna specifically buy. Because I'm looking around my room right now, I see Sony, I see Sunpack, I see A10 Mini, I see Sento or Senio, I see Apple products, I see Samsung, I see Tascam. But here's the thing about that: I only know these brands based off I bought a Sony camera and I bought a tripod, and it just happened to be Sunpack. I didn't give a fuck about the brand when I bought it. You don't see Sunpack smacked everywhere in my room. Like, yes, it's cool to have that. And now if I see Sunpack when I buy another product, I might be a little bit skeptical about it because their stuff happens to be a little bit cheaper than others. But I guess the thing that I'm trying to say is that me slapping my logo in your room gives me a sense of gratification. I don't know if that's the best sense of, or that. I guess that's just me being happy. Like, oh, cool, they got my sticker. That's dope. And a lot of people think that's marketing, and I think it's marketing too. But I think it's about like where you like. Your marketing didn't work that well if they had to buy your product to get your logo in their room, in their area, to see it every day. You know, that's dope as hell, but really that's just fandom, in my opinion. Like, that's after the marketing campaigns and like the luring them in has already worked. That's after the fact. You got their vote a long time ago, and now you can sell to them. But the graphic designer and the marketing team are probably going to be spending a majority of their time getting that logo in places that the people who aren't watching are looking. So when I go to work, I pass a bunch of billboards on there. Sometimes I look at them, and if there's one that pertains to me, I'll actually look at that shit and be like, yo, I didn't know that was there, and now I'm going to go. See, a billboard works just like that, and you can put your brand anywhere you want, but I have 1, 2, 3 Apple products in front of me right now, and you wouldn't know that they were Apple products unless you turn them around. See, I'd have to take the case off of this one for you to know it's an Apple product automatically. What if you were fucking 8 years old? And okay, it's hard to not know what an iPhone product is nowadays. But do you see my point? I don't need to see the Apple logo all over this motherfucker to understand that it's an iPhone. I want the product to be that good. Like, I want the shit that I'm selling to be that good that my logo isn't needed, because low-key I don't even think there's enough room for it. You know? Like, the marketing will get there. Like, the marketing should be there to lure everybody in, and then when you sell them the products, you know, just let the products be the products. Don't put your logo all over it trying to make the dopest design. Now, for the artists out there who like love to be like, who are the graphic designer for their business owner and like love to do that type of shit, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. But I think that you should be spending your time to put those logos on things where people who you want to be looking or who you want to be watching are looking. So for Linus Tech Tips and MKBHD, I would be trying to comment under all of MKBHD's videos, and I would be trying to comment under all of Linus Tech Tips videos, just so that my logo is associated with their names, meaning like we kind of talk about the same things. We are kind of on the same page. I kind of agree with this guy. I kind of like what they're talking about. Marketing, I get it enough. I don't understand the whole spill of it all, but I've definitely brushed up on my knowledge of it and understand it to a certain extent. I just think that without a logo, it's hard to like identify which brand is. So it's definitely good for brand identity. It's definitely good for putting money in your pocket. But I think that if you're basically like, at the end of the day, dude, you're just selling your fucking logo. And you're making your graphic designer happy. Like, congratulations on that. But like, I know the YouTube world is a business in its own self. But if you start off with a team, think about it. The biggest issue that a lot of YouTubers I feel are facing, that they are the face of their brand. So they can't focus on anything else because they're focused on their brand. But here's the crazy part about it. What if you had a team the whole time? And it doesn't matter whose face is on the brand. People know it. People get it. Because the brand is so strong that you could literally drag and drop an avatar in whenever you please. A brand ambassador in whenever you please. Like, this person's talking about this today. This person's talking about this today. There is no face. The brand is the face. You know what I mean? There is no need for it. I guess that's the only thing about being a YouTuber, or being a self-entrepreneur like that, is that you kind of get stuck in that, like, you don't want to break out of your bubble because you're kind of scared to. You're kind of scared that if you do that, you lose your identity and people are going to forget about you over time, when really it's just about like how you set yourself up to succeed in the future. If you're doing it just by yourself and you're the only one representing your brand, Sorry about that. I had to put the phone on the charger, on the MacBook on the charger. And you're the only one representing the brand, then yeah, there's two things that could happen. People will get tired of you, and you can never leave because now they're attached. It's like if I have a dad, I don't want anybody else to be my motherfucking dad. You know, it's like you can't just come in here and be my dad, bro. I like this guy because he said it like this, and he did it like this. I'm going to compare the fuck out of you now. So I guess that's like a huge issue too. But with Linus Tech Tips, at least, I'm noticing that he's kind of stepping away. It's like he teases it. He's like, hey, I'm retiring, guys. Let's just see how they react, though. Let's just see what data pulls. Fuck, we're plummeting. No, Linus, you can't go yet. You cannot go yet. Yo, Anthony, we really need you to be in a lot more videos because we need somebody to take this account over. Why are you breaching? Why are you breaching? It got louder for no reason, and all I did was put the fucking charger in. Like I said, though, I guess that's my biggest issue with YouTubers. I think that they're scared to break out into business owners, and there's one guy who's just not scared to do it. And people might not like the response, or people might not like the dude or what he stands for, or, you know, things that he's done. My hairline is all so bad right now. Things that he's done in the past that people may not agree with. Logan Paul. I have a weird theory about that motherfucker, man. Logan. Oh, yeah, no, we're not wearing the hat. Logan Paul. Dude is. He's smart as shit, dog. He is smart as shit and opportunistic. He fucking. People were really mad about him. I'm mad at him when he did the Chinese thing, when he did the suicide tree thing, right? Or I don't know what the Japanese or Chinese. I'm not gonna sit here and I didn't feed into that, so I don't know enough about it. I don't even know enough about like the actual. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't pay attention to like the hype, I guess. It kind of just gets like, I get that he's a, you know, it's a bad thing. You don't do that. No, don't do that. All I seen was a nigga who said to himself, y'all want to go viral? Fuck it. And that's the price he paid. People hated him for 2 years. Ballsy motherfucker. A ballsy motherfucker who just beat Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. A ballsy motherfucker who understands one thing. Marketing, baby. Like, he understands how to get more people to look in his direction. Now, here's the funny thing about it. People don't like Logan Paul because he's a privileged white kid. At the end of the day, he gets everything he wants. His daddy did this, and that. He didn't work hard for it. He didn't earn it. They said the same thing about The Miz when he first got there, too. And he worked his way up through reality TV shows to get to the fucking WWE. Literally acted like a damn near a WWE character for his entire fucking role. What was that show called? There was like a reality TV show on MTV where it was like a bunch of freaking like graduated high school, college students got together and started hanging out together. So it was basically like the Jersey Shore before the Jersey Shore took off. And Mike the Miz was the dude who was known for the wrestling jizz. Like he was always trying to act like a wrestler and do those type of things. But all the WWE seen was, yeah, we can give him a shot. He's seen it as, I can get in there now. He's seen his opportunity and he took it. A lot of people wouldn't have done it because it goes, you know, it's not the natural way of doing things. You're not supposed to do it that way. That's not how people get it done. God damn it, Warren's on his way. Shit. So I'll be there in 15-ish. I got 5 minutes to wrap this bitch up and get ready to go hoop. You know, a 40-minute podcast isn't too bad. But I guess I got to hit my point really good this time. Basically, these two dudes, it just makes sense for them to be the ones beating these two people. People who are like bleeding in the, like who bleed for the industry, just lost. People who are known as entertainers more than anything else. They're really good at entertaining, but they're really fucking good at getting the job done, though. It doesn't matter how the job gets done as long as the job gets done. In the WWE, as long as you're putting numbers on the board and people want to see your face, you are a draw. Like, you are over. You get people's attention. When your music hits, people's ears perk up. When people see your name, they look a little bit more than they would if they seen anybody else's name. You're over. And Logan Paul, I hate to say it, no, I don't. The motherfucker is over. He is so over that he went to WrestleMania with The Miz and beat Rey Mysterio. That has nothing to do with my podcast, but it has everything to do with opportunistic motherfuckers taking the chance to make the risk and getting pretty good rewards off of it. Because yes, it was dumb to do the thing that he did a couple of years back. It was stupid. But at the end of the day, that same mentality of fuck it has to happen sometimes. You have to learn from those mistakes. I don't want to make those mistakes, but at the same time, you got to do risky shit. And you got to pay the risky consequences for those. Risky decisions give you like bold ass consequences, right? And that was a bold ass consequence that he got. He got shitted on by the world for 2 years to the point where people really fucking hated him, but still remained relevant. Still had a name for himself. Still generated income. The dude still made money. Now he's just on a whole different level. And notice one thing. With MKBHD, they have a niche. With Linus Tech Tips, they have a niche. What are those niches? Tech. They compete with each other. But they still they probably still have to do their best to keep up with Logan Paul's numbers. Because Logan Paul is hitting on so many different elements and so many different... He has people over here. He has people over there. He has content over here. Dibble and dabbles in a little bit of everything. It's like a bag of munchies. It's not just some hot Cheetos. It's not just some chips. And it's not just some pretzels. It's all that shit, bruh. So all the potheads were probably like, yo, munchies. Logan Paul gives you a little bit of everything. It's similar to the Joe Rogan podcast. They give you a little bit of everything. The niche-based ones have to give you those niches. You have to stay within... It's almost like a... I almost said a cult. But it's more like... it's a community. You have your black community, you have your Hispanic community, you have your Asian community, you have your diversified. I wouldn't even say diverse. Is it diverse if it's no? You have different nationalities, different races amongst the world, but we're not going to use skin color to represent them in this case. We're going to use their infatuation for tech, their infatuation for film, their infatuation for inventing things, their infatuation for coding, their infatuation for books, their infatuation for this interesting element in life and whatever it may be. That is what entertainers do. They get that thing that you're excited about and make it a little bit more exciting than the last person did, creating a new standard. And if people don't meet that standard, they're not that interesting. So, yeah. I don't know what the fuck that was. I guess it was more of like a rant on me trying to get a better understanding of me telling you guys what my understanding is of the entertainment world. Basically saying that you can be tech based, you could be niche based, but you don't have to resort to that. And people like Logan Paul, if he chose to talk about one thing forever, then the chances of him being in the WWE right now are slim. The chances, like, I don't give a fuck that he's wrestling in the WWE. I only care that the dude was in WrestleMania. He earned a card on, like, he earned a match on WrestleMania. If you're a wrestling fan, you are probably mad as fuck right now that Ricochet was not on the card as well. He didn't have a singles match. You get what I'm saying? Like, the people who clearly deserve it aren't given the chances. Why? Because the people truly don't want to see them right now. I'm not saying they don't want to see him. I'm saying they don't want to see him right now. For some reason, Logan Paul makes more sense than Ricochet. Why? Because Logan Paul is wanted by so many fucking young 14-year-old kids everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's kind of obvious at that point. You have your entertainers and you have the people who bleed this shit. The people who bleed this shit watch the niche-based stuff, and the people who like to be entertained watch everything. How do we cater to both of those? That's beyond me. But my goal here, like always, is to help creators create. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but me just going on these tangents and explaining my vision of entertainment, or content in this case, and what it can do for you. Like, look at Logan Paul. He started off with Vine. Reminder, Vine is gone, but Logan Paul is not. King Batch is here. King Batch is corny as fuck, but guess what? King Batch is corny as fuck. What does that mean? The nigga is still corny. He's still doing the same thing, and he's still making it happen. As corny as he may be, he's still making it happen. As annoying as Logan may be, he still made it happen. As dumb as he may be, still at WrestleMania, making a name for himself, an even bigger name for himself. Dude has movies. The dude is literally the white boy of America. And that's not always a bad thing when you're that big. But I guess a part of me just wants to see dudes like him continue to piss the rest of the world off because they don't have that opportunity that he has. But yeah, that's basically it. In this podcast, really all I went over was how important it is. Like, I didn't even get my timestamps, bro. Oh my God. God, please. I just need a team. Like, I just need someone to literally click the timestamp button for me, bro. That's it. This shit's struggling. Like, anyway. I could always come in here and kill some content. That's what I do know. And I don't have to have the most expertise on it. I just have to talk about the shit and then let my brain do the rest of the work. And I'll probably say some shit that makes sense. I think that my biggest thing to do is to compare and contrast things. And that's what I was doing right now, is comparing certain situations to other situations. Like Linus Tech Tips selling water bottles, but Logan Paul is at WrestleMania. Like, dude, if you keep staying in this niche, you could stay here in this niche thing, but we want to see you in different places because it's like social anxiety. Like, if the leader of our community is staying in the same place forever, so are we. But if he goes and branches out and shows you how much more things you can do if you just surround yourself with more people, possibilities are endless. Networking will always be the lifeblood of marketing, in my opinion. So the more you do that, the more chances you have of meeting people who are willing to get the shit done with and for you. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying that the people who are crazy enough to change the world are the ones that actually do. For those who thought that I forgot about the quote, I usually start them off with that. But this time I'll end it off because you can see what I'm trying to get at, is that content creators are also responsible for having a shift in the change of the world. You have the ability to inspire. You have the ability to ignite lights in people. People hate on Gary Vee, and all he does is put out motivating content. Think about that. They hate on him so much, they say shit like, dude, all he does is drink coffee and take Adderall and then goes on content, spits some fucking thing into this shit, and then gets on the fact that these 19-year-old boys aren't men yet, and then want to just, do. They all have their own little theories and perspectives on why Gary Vee is not perfect in their world. But all I see is a dude who is spending his time motivating people. There's not enough of that in the world, in my opinion. There's not enough Gary Vees in the world, in my opinion. He helps creators create in ways that nobody can understand. Gary Vee is one of the people who actually gave me... I was that 19-year-old college student who dropped out. Literally is the dude who, like, I would watch his videos and think to myself, like, no, he's spitting real facts here. He's low-key. Someone finally said it. He's the type of dude who's going to say the things that nobody else has the balls to say. We all have things that are chilling in the back of our heads, that have been chilling in our heads for fucking years, but we've never let them out the chamber. Gary Vee just doesn't do that. It's as simple as that. So, like I said, the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And I just happen to own Apple products, baby. So let's get this shit. Thank you for staying tuned for the 10th episode of Iris the Podcast. Stay tuned for the 11th one. And like I said, we will be welcoming guests from here on out. Deuces.